Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing on this extremely cold and extremely snowy day? We got about 4 inches of snow at the house. It's yeah. Yeah. Hey, been there, done that. David, how are you? Squid live from Wisconsin weather, Georgia. Yeah, somebody from up north, come get Mother Nature out of my yard because she is on something and roaming and lost. It is I mean, it's gonna melt in a day or two, but, like, it's still one of those waking up with 4 inches of snow on the car. It's like, I haven't done that since I lived here. I haven't done that in a long time. And hey, Duncan, Idaho, how are you with the 1 Squid Pro Quo membership? Oh, so today we are talking Maya Kowalski. I usually do it on Thursdays, but we are doing a stream with Captain Kern tomorrow. Going over some important documents to him. And we are moving it up a day. So there's been a couple things that happened. Also, I was able to find Dr. Joe's lawsuit, and I will probably be doing those Friday morning. I couldn't find it when I searched his name, but um, there, the website for Hillsborough County has the ability to search by the lawyer, and you can look up all the attorneys' cases, and I found it under there. Each state and each county is completely different in how they run their stuff. So some are easier to navigate than others. And Hung Hero, and hey, Mary Jane, that's Sarah. How are you? Um, the one thing that both of those cases have in common is they are out of the same law firm. Um, and Hung Hero, thanks for getting us started with the $2 super chat. At least we're back in positive double digits here. Yeah, it's like 30 here. So I mean it's not cold, but like it's Georgia cold. It's Georgia cold. But it'll be 65 by the end of next week. So, one of those things. Ah, you're good having your remote work day 3 of 4, so there's an end in sight. An end in sight is always nice. Um, the mister gets a snow day today. Because, down here, everything shuts down. Because that being said, I'm going to preface this with I feel comfortable driving in snow up north. I don't feel comfortable driving in the snow down here because up north you have plows. Up north you have salt trucks. The roads are treated constantly from like November to April. Down here, we don't have the infrastructure for it, so nothing gets done. So I would be sliding my butt all over the highway down here, even though up north I consider myself a pretty proficient driver in the snow. Ugh. Georgia cold is hot. Hey, Lori. Yeah, snowy roads in the south really do slam the whole area with chaos. And it's just one of those things of like we don't have the infrastructure to treat it. So it's one of those like it can't even you can be the best. Yeah, no plow, no drive. You even up north, like I would get stuck leaving my driveway because my apartment complex up north plowed the main roads, but like they would wait for the secondary like little driveways because everybody had a garage. So it would like you'd have to wait, and when you have to be to work, it's 6:30 in the morning. Like they are not plowed, so you'd either be plowing your own driveway space or hitting the gas and hoping for the best, which really didn't end well, no matter where. Yeah, up north, the other drivers are from up north. But it's not. It has nothing to do with the other people in this explanation. It has to do with the fact that the infrastructure is set up, and um, there's salt on the roads to keep them from being as slippery. All right, so we're gonna get into the updates in the Maya Kowalski case. I have to look because I don't want to give you guys false information because that's always my pet peeve. I have the date of the appellate hearing written down, and I thought it was February 8th, 12th, February 12th at 9:30. goes in front of the Florida 2nd District Court of Appeals. If it can be streamed, if I can find a appellate stream, like I have the 2nd District Court of Appeals website. Sometimes those things are videoed, sometimes they're not. If it's either being live streamed or I can get a hold of the feed, we will be watching it together because that's going to be an interesting day. No plow, no drive. Oh, whoop, and there goes my phone. Oh well. Stranger things have happened. All right, so there's not too many. Dear sweet dumpster Jesus. Yeah, all hail the dumpster Jesus. Like, I can't even believe that became a thing. Like, so there's a couple of new documents. First, I wanted to cover so there's this. So, District Court of Appeals, January 9th. I might have read this one on my last stream, but it was a last effort. JHACH v. Jack Kowalski, Maya Kowalski, by order of the court, in an abundance of caution, and this court's review of the motion to substitute counsel, the response to the motion to substitute counsel, and the motion to relinquish jurisdiction, appellant shall file a response to the motion to relinquish jurisdiction. Appellant's response shall be filed within 5 days of the order and shall include whether how appellees pending substitution of Childers law for Anderson Glenn impacts the proceedings in this court. Further, Gunster, Yoakley, Stewart, PA, and Bluel, Elgit, Farrier, and Faircloth. How many named partners are you going to have in one law firm? There's 4 at that one and 4 at this one. Oy. Sorry. May file a response to the motion to relinquish jurisdiction within 5 days of the date of this order, addressing whether and how the pending substitution hereby impacts the proceedings. So that was kind of where we left off. Baby Squid is with her dad hanging out, probably trying to go down for a nap. Have you been dropped by Johns Hopkins today? Oh, and I didn't play my normal intro. My normal intro has the first ever meme that I made that Megan showed on her channel. And it's the marked safe from being dropped by Johns Hopkins today. Oh, you know. So I put all the new documents. I will put them all in the Discord server individually, but I put them all on Sarasota County's website. You have the ability to put all of them in one document, which makes life so much easier when you're trying to stream what documents you haven't talked about. Tell them I said hi. I usually try to go when they're like wrapping up, but sometimes they stop at 1 and sometimes they just keep going. I hate that they refuse to pay Maya. Why isn't she given? Because they're a large corporation and they think they can bully you around. I worked for a large corporation in the medical industrial complex, and they think they can do anything they want. Yeah. Pick up my darn phone. Oh no, it's on the floor. Because I'm charging it. I didn't charge it overnight, and I'm charging it with my portable charger today. I like this one because it is a portable charger, but it has an adapter where it plugs into the wall. So, but I unplugged it, and it fell, and when it fell, it unplugged. Because, you know, I'm just that like coordinated. And can you believe I figure skated and I had the coordination and the balance and the cognition to figure skate, but I can't even keep my phone on the desk and make it make sense. Oh, Captain, you're funny. It's on iPhone. The battery's supposed to last forever. Not when you watch YouTube on your phone. Yeah. And when your daughter steals it and plays music on it. She wants to hold my iPhone and play music on my iPhone while she's watching YouTube on her iPad. Talk about a Gen Alpha baby. Tell them to come over here when they're done. All right, and that was the entire list of lawyers it was served to. And, we have our two favorite, our vampire in the closet, Howard Hunter, who faked back problems because allegedly faked back problems because he had um he had back problems on the day that he was going to be admonished by the judge for his actions. All right, and then you have JHACH versus the Kowalskis. By order of the court, this motion to substitute counsel of record is granted. Selden J. Childers and Nicholas P. Whitney of Childers Law, LLC are substituted as counsel of record for appellees in this case, and Gregory Anderson and Jennifer C. Anderson of Anderson Glen, LLP are relieved from further representation. Like, hey. I don't think there's enough people. Like, which begs the question of, after all these lawyers are paid, how much are they actually going to have left? There's the other question. I know the win was not only financial, but also like a statement, putting it out there that the little guy can win, and you can't push people around just because you're a big corporation. And I'm sorry, the medical industrial complex, in my opinion, is not meant to make you healthy. It's just not. They just give you medication and tell you to go about your merry way. And all the medication does is cover symptoms, mask symptoms, and create more issues. So that's just my, 6 years of working in a hospital and seeing everything from neurosurgeries to heart transplants. Yeah. To stem cell transplants for cancer. So, after that loss, they should have back problems or at least inability to sit for a while. Yeah, can we bring back can we go to Singapore and have them break the law over there and get caned? I mean, that would be my cat, I'm derailing again. All right, so according to the judge now, or the order from the court, Selden J. Childers and Nicholas P. Whitney of Childers Law are substituted. So we's gonna do a little we're gonna get a little bit of a do. I hate StreamYard that I can't just go from presenting a window to presenting a tab. It makes me stop and start again, and it's stupid. So, Childers Law. I'm Jeff Childers, Charles Hardage, and our favorite, Nick Whitney. I would really love to talk to Nick Whitney, not even about this case, but we're going to, the stream was never on the rails. Wow, you're so mean, Angung Hero. You're so mean to me. I just thought I was doing pretty good today. Like, I was pretty good at getting on topic, waiting for people to get in here, getting on topic, and staying on topic. I even have a plan. Usually I just get in here and wing it. Like, I'm actually starting to, write stuff down. Like, I even have a list of questions. Not that I'm ever going to be interviewing Nick Whitney ever, because I am too small and he has no idea who I am. However, I have a list of questions that I would like to ask him that have nothing to do with Maya, this case, switching law firms, nothing. Pretty much. I would just love to have a beer and have a conversation. And I have a shit ton of questions to ask him, and we'll get into that. But Selden J. Childers, my assumption would be Jeff Childers, because they don't actually have a Selden J. Childers. So, yeah, best laid plans. Ancient Drummer, they're melted, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's supposed to freeze again tonight, so we're just gonna have a bunch of black ice with a bunch of people who don't even know how to drive in cold, let alone, Sometimes I wonder if these people know how to drive at all, because once it rains, it's like, oh my God, it's raining. It's like, we live in Georgia. It rains every damn day. It's like Florida without the beaches. Yeah. I do too. I've broken a few bones on the ice, and that was when I was trying to skate. Not to mention what I've done when I've stepped off the stairs at my old apartment and right onto my butt. Jeff Childers is the president and founder of Childers Law Firm. Jeff externed at the Federal Bankruptcy Court in Orlando, where he helped write several widely cited opinions. He then worked as an associate with the prestigious firm of Winder Weedle. That's prestigious. I'm just not going there. Haynes, Ward, and Woodman. Why so many named partners? How big are these firms where you have to have 4 named partners, or where you can have 4 named partners? In Orlando and Winter Park, Florida, before moving back to Gainesville, founding Childers Law. Jeff served for 3 years on the board of directors at the Central Florida Bankruptcy Law Association. He has served on the board of directors of the 8th Judicial Bar Association and on the Rules Committee for the Northern District of Florida Bankruptcy Court. Jeff has published several articles as co-author with Professor William Page of the Levin College of Law, University of Florida, on the topic of antitrust in the Microsoft case. Well, that's interesting. He also is the author of an article on the topic of product liability in the software context. I mean, that might be interesting to people who need it, and I know that's a necessary thing, but product liability sounds like the most boring section, like, area to practice in. I'm just, Jeff focuses on his area of practice in commercial litigation, elections law, and constitutional issues. He's a skilled trial litigator and appellate advocate. That sounds like it was written by ChatGPT. He's got a book award. This is all his professional, and they link videos that you can watch of these lawyers and his appellate court work. That is Selden Childers. I'm assuming the Selden J, he just goes by Jeff. That is one of Maya's new lawyers. So we're just looking over Maya's new law firm before we move on to the next issue. And the next issue is where it gets a little interesting. We got like 4.5-ish. And hey, Joe. 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches. Yeah, Ink's drummer. I was born in Wisconsin and raised all around the Midwest, so I'm used to it, but it's still weird to see it out here. So we're just kind of going over the new lawyers so that we all know who. Jesus. Hey, Mary. Oh boy. I wouldn't let Flux hear you say that. She might have other opinions on that topic, but hey, who am I to judge? You can identify as a house plant for all I care. And then Charles Hartage was not named as a lawyer of representing her. And I have no idea what Savannah got. Like, I have no idea. It'll be gone in like 2 days, so it doesn't really matter. I still do too. I laugh because they freak out, knowing that everybody's just going to stay home and everything's going to be closed, and people still freak out. It's like, I'm not even going to read that out loud. Hey, Tamara. And then our favorite, Nick Whitney. Hello. How are you? You want to say hi? You go, come here. Okay, no? Okay, then. Oh, why all the what the hell Satyrs got to copy everybody? What happened? What happened? Hey, Jeff. You're not supposed to tell anybody. You're not supposed to tell anybody. You're not supposed to tell anybody. It's supposed to be our secret. All right. Nick, take note of how this is written and just like, wow, thank you for knocking over a chair. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pick that up by yourself. No, no. Okay, so you're just gonna hide underneath it. That'll work. 4 inches is a lot. I feel so much less inadequate now. Well, that's a you problem. I mean, uh, mm, mm. Anyway, uh, Nick Whitney recently joined Schiller's Law. Prior to joining, Nick served as trial counsel in the Kowalski versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital case that became the focus of a Netflix documentary, Take Care of Maya. The case resulted in the largest malpractice verdict in Florida history at $258 million. After graduating Harvard Law School, Nick began his legal career at Sidley Austin and Rogers Towers, focused on civil litigation, alternative investment vehicles, and transactional real estate, all of which sound absolutely boring. Following this initial position, Nick joined a real estate development firm as general counsel, where he was involved in the development of mixed-use properties at a large age-restricted community. The village. Anybody want to guess that that's the Villages? Just one of those things. Nick returned to litigation in 2018 with Anderson Glenn, focusing on commercial litigation, aviation law, and catastrophic personal injury cases. This is where it gets interesting. Prior to beginning his legal career, Nick served 10 years as a U.S. Navy pilot and earned the Air Medal for flying combat during Operation Iraqi Freedom. He completed tours in Kanoe, Hawaii, and Naples, Italy, deployed as the USS Port Royal from Pearl Harbor. He's an FAA-rated airline transport pilot. This dude has got a lot going on. And to fly both helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. Nick continues to serve in the U.S. Navy Reserve as a JAG lawyer, assigned to the 5th and 6th Fleets with areas of responsibility over Europe, Middle East, African areas of operation. Nick graduated the University of Nebraska with a BS in math. He was the math guy during the Kowalski trial, if you remember correctly. The Villages includes many age-restricted activities, not if you have the right color loofah. Yes, I am clearly AI. Age-restricted, usually 55 and above. He has a BS in math and economics in Harvard Law School. In 2015, he's a member of the Florida Bar and active with Community Presbyterian Church in Atlantic Beach and Atlantic Beach Elementary School. And they show his closing arguments here. Squid can't be AI. She's too much of an oddball. Squid can't read. It's confirmed. No, you're right. I can't. And Slug, thank you for once again bringing up my greatest childhood fears was public speaking and reading out loud. So, So that is their new legal team. I can't even talk, let alone read. All right, now I gotta go back to the it's so weird like that. It won't let me open up like a PDF. Enough super chats and I'll boot Hung Hero for the day. Just kidding. All right. And of course, it was served to all of those. Nicholas Price Whitney. You make Megan setting water on fire, like trying to boil water and having a problem. You make her look like Gordon Ramsay. Much to get myself booted, not enough. You can't afford that. All right. So Maya Kowalski versus JHACH. Notice of limited appearance of Suzanne Bartow Hill on behalf of the firm Anderson Glenn LLP and Gregory Anderson Esquire. Notice is hereby given of the limited appearance of Suzanne Bardo Hill of the law firm Rumberger, Kirk, and Caldwell on behalf of Anderson Glenn LLP and Gregory Anderson, the primary, and then they give her email addresses, which aren't important. So now they have Suzanne Bardo Hill, and somebody went through and closed some windows where I had her thing up. So let's see if I can find it again. Stiletto boot. Esquire. Sometimes we wish he was a figment of everybody's imagination, don't we? Just kidding, Slug. So behind on the Maya stuff. Last time I checked on it was from Jeff. I have a couple of videos, and there really hasn't been a lot. Everybody kind of went radio silence, but I did a video in July, or talking about documents that were filed in July, and it's really nothing going on right now has anything to do with JHACH themselves. This is all infighting with Maya Kowalski's lawyers. It's and I try to go like right when they end or right after them. And usually they end at like 1-ish, but sometimes they go if they're on a roll, they just go until they have nothing else to talk about. See, I was prepared. I have like, okay, we're going to not only read this, but we're going to figure out who these people are. So Susan Bardo Hill is a partner, not a named partner, but a part. Yeah, lawyers be squabbling. And I said it in the first one. I took a lot of heat for that first video. Oh, AJ Raid. Hey guys, how is everybody today? I may not get booted. Thanks, Hung Hero, for the $25 super chat. I might not get booted, but you get to eat a garlic thing. AJ kicked you out? Well, you're always welcome here. Hey, Gabby. Oh, and Gabby, I've gotten some compliments on the setup of the Discord server. FYI, y'all, if the Discord server looks the way it does, not because of me, it's because of Gabby. She did all the work, and people give me credit, and it's like, no. This is an all Gabby thing. Gabby helped me with everything I know. Slug helped with the security stuff, but Gabby helped me with the setup of the server because she's smart and I'm not. So here we go. Hung Hero, $25. Oh, that's hot. I think I'm getting used to them. Oh, that's weird. All right. Oh. I can hear her playing in her little kitchen set. Oh. Yes, I agree. Gabby is awesome. Flash Fan said it too. And hey, Flash Fan, how are you today? You miss garlic bread? Well, these are garlic cloves that are deep fried and seasoned with a lot of hot shit. And for every like $25 in super chats, I eat one. So that's my little grift. But now that I'm getting too used to it, I got to find something else because they're not as hot as they used to be. Too early for those. Hey, living life with FND. All right. Practices in commercial litigation, employment and labor, intellectual property, and professional liability. Suzanne Hill maintains a multifaceted commercial litigation practice with extensive experience litigating complex commercial and business disputes, lender disputes, consumer litigation, professional liability, intellectual property, class actions, and employment litigation. She tries jury and non-jury cases, handles appeals throughout the state, federal, bankruptcy, and appellate courts throughout Florida. She routinely represents financial institutions, lenders, law firms, business owners, and professionals in a variety of commercial matters involving Florida's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act, False Claims Act, Uniform Trade Secret Act, and Civil RICO, Federal Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and Florida counterpart, the Florida Consumer Collections Practice Act. She acts as clients matters involving breach of contract. Now we know why she's representing them. Fraud, misappropriation, trade secrets, intellectual property, real estate, tortious interference, breach of fiduciary duties, shareholder partner disputes, employment, commercial collections, non-compete agreements, and class actions. That makes so much sense now. Instead of trying to handle this, Whitney leaving and all of that stuff that was brought up in the last video in that 73-page motion that basically is a little petty, but is Greg getting his anger out, in my opinion. Hey, Tracy. AJ had lasagna with garlic bread yesterday. That does sound good. This is just everyone. AJ, thanks for becoming a member of Tentacle Nation. I appreciate it so much. You think that, yeah, the Griffith jury selection, I think, was the 27th, is what I had written down. I think. I think it was the 27th, something like that. Oh, go watch the last video. And we read through the motion that Greg filed. He goes into some ethical issues, and kind of says some pretty petty shit about Nick Whitney, in my opinion. He gets pretty petty, which it takes one to know one. Like, and hey, Rogue Mama. And Puddletown, thanks for being a member for 2 months. Has to be longer. I think I had to renew last time. Yeah, Slug wasn't here. He might still be lurking. We don't know. So now we know why Greg Anderson brought her into this case. And I'm sorry. I try to put it on limited ads, but sometimes people get like back to back, and then some people get none. Oh, yeah, I didn't sleep really well last night because of pain, so I feel you on that one. I hope you're doing okay. It's like seeing a doctor for your pain always makes it worse. Well, go back and watch the last stream where we go through there's actually 2 parts to it. But it's a lot, and he goes into why. This is purely personal between him and Nick Whitney. It's YouTube Premium for the win. Honestly, it's probably the best thing I've ever done. Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason. I remind myself that ads means Squid is getting paid. Yeah, there is that. Oh yeah, Mary Jane, really not Sarah. I go back and watch the 2 parts because it's a lot to it, and it's hard to explain in a TLDR. Woohoo! So, and Flash fan, no ads for you yet. Not best in Solder Desk. You're trying to find the Griffith hearings and trying to get text messages suppressed. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna do a Griffith update this week too, sometime this week, because there's a lot of documents in that case that have been filed. All these Florida cases are really easy to keep up on because the documents are just so easy to find. Prolotherapy on 210. Good luck. It's like Oprah. You get an ad, and you get an ad, and you get an ad. And hold on one second. All right. So, Suzanne defends attorneys in a wide variety of claims, including claims of negligence, malpractice, breach of fiduciary duties, which was one of his claims, and other claims of intentional and negligent wrongdoing. She also represents lawyers in state bar proceedings involving grievances and claims of misconduct. Suzanne represents employers. Good, her bio is long. Employers and claims involving SA, discrimination, disabilities, FMLA, Fair Labor Standards Act. She represents clients in administrative claims for the EEOC as well as in state and federal court. She assists employers with daily employment issues and regularly consults with employers on employment matters, including the preparation and review of employee manuals and handbooks. All right, so basically we know why she was brought into this case, and it strictly has to do with the accusations that Anderson Glenn has against Nick Whitney. Because I was kind of confused before I looked her up the first time as to, okay, who is this lawyer and why is she there? And now we know. See, I'm organized today, guys. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, what the heck? I've got all my ducks in a row. I had to go back in my history and look for the Suzanne Bardo Hill issue or explanation of what she does, or bio. But so fun watching New Orleans kids play in the snow. Such joy. We went outside this morning, but I don't have gloves for her that fit her. So I had we put mine on, and it didn't, she didn't like it. She was out there for like 10 minutes tops. All right. So that was Suzanne is now representing Anderson Glenn in this whole debacle. Maya Kowalski v. Johns Hopkins. Motion to enforce retaining lien on files and charging lien on judgment, award, or settlement for fees and expenses and reused for evidentiary hearing. Anderson Glenn LLP, Gregory Anderson Esquire, moved to enforce a retaining lien on files and charging lien on judgment, award, or settlement rendered in the plaintiff's behalf for legal services rendered to and costs out-of-pocket expenses incurred on behalf of plaintiffs by Anderson. In support of the motion, Anderson would show the court the following. Gregory Anderson Esquire is an attorney at law licensed to practice in the state of Florida. Mr. Anderson has been practicing law in Florida for over 40 years and has at all times been a member in good standing with the Florida bar. Mr. Anderson's practice focuses on litigation, including personal injury law, and he is a board-certified civil trial lawyer. Footnote 1. Mr. Anderson has tried jury trials in 9 states with a total of 100 civil jury trials. On or about May 2nd, 2017, plaintiffs engaged Anderson to represent plaintiffs as legal counsel for any claims plaintiffs may have against individuals or entities for injury or damages sustained by plaintiff as a result of conduct, negligence, and or intentional actions committed by third parties responsible for plaintiff's injuries. On or about May 24, 2017, the plaintiffs and Anderson executed the Anderson Glenn LLP employment contract, pursuant to which plaintiffs agreed to compensate Anderson a percentage of any recovery, compromise, settlement, or judgment obtained on plaintiff's behalf, which is pretty normal, and reimburse Anderson for any and all costs on plaintiff's behalf in the addition to attorney's fees plaintiff might owe. When plaintiff Maya Kowalski attained the age of 18 years old, she individually executed a second employment agreement wherein she individually agreed to compensate Anderson a percentage of any recovery, compromise, settlement, or judgment obtained on her behalf, and to reimburse Anderson for all or any and all costs incurred on her behalf in addition to any attorney's fees plaintiffs might owe. I didn't realize she entered into a second contract on her own. Mr. Anderson. All right. Footnote, Mr. Anderson obtained a board certification in civil trial practice in 1991 and business litigation certification in 96. All right. The first and second agreements shall collectively be referred to as agreements unless stated otherwise. Footnote 2. Hey, Georgie and Coop Raiders. Yeah, what took you so long? Hey, guys. Buck? Yes, Uncle Buck is in the house. Uncle Buck is one of my mods. Uncle Buck is amazing. And Jeffrey, I am interacting with chat, but that's because chat is relatively small. But we're also staying generally on topic. Because there's a lot of people who used to follow this case like religiously that just haven't heard anything about it. And me being such a small channel, didn't know that I covered any of it. So, yeah, there's the issue at hand. So there's the issue at hand. Anderson, the only attorney willing to take plaintiff's case, and in reliance upon the financial terms of the agreements, including most particularly plaintiff's agreement to compensate Anderson with a percentage of any recovery, compromise, or settlement or judgment obtained on plaintiff's behalf, and agreed to represent plaintiffs. Importantly, but for plaintiff's agreement to the financial terms of the agreement, most particularly plaintiff's agreement to compensate Anderson a percentage of any recovery, compromise, settlement, or judgment, Anderson would not have undertaken or continued to represent the representation of the plaintiffs in this matter. Anderson's agreement to undertake the representation was at great financial risk, both personally and professionally. If I do remember, he downsized his house. Hello. It's a TLDR as quickly as I can. It's a case that was tried in the fall of 2023. It is about when Maya Kowalski was 10 years old. It's the subject of a documentary, Take Care of Maya, on Netflix. It's one of those things. It's a medical kidnapping case. That's why Megan first started covering it, and that's why I got curious about it from watching on her channel. So it is a medical kidnapping case. Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital in Sarasota, Florida. Beata Kowalski brought her daughter into the ER. She had CRPS. Maya and Beata was doing some what some people view as questionable ketamine treatments, and they basically said it was CA, child, and so they had her for, I believe, 4 months, and wouldn't let her see her mother at all. And her mother, they even went as far as like throwing religious items in the trash, not giving her chocolate cake that was brought in by the family because they thought it had ketamine in it. Yes, and Beata Kowalski, unfortunately, after a hearing where she was not allowed to give her daughter a hug, went home and what can only be described as going to great lengths to feel like she was saving her daughter. Self-deleted. So it's every lawyer can make their own agreement. Like, it depends on whether you think you're going to win the case or not. Like, if you have an agreement where they'll get compensated after, then that's what we did when we had a case. We agreed to pay a percentage of any winnings that we got. So yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, and not in an appeal either. So, and what I would assume, there's more to this motion, but I would assume he's doing this so that they cannot ever cut him out of it's kind of one of those things of like, I filed it with the court, so there's no way that you can not pay me because it's in court records that you agreed to pay me. So instead of having to go through a civil litigation of, getting paid, Wendy, I agree. This whole case. This whole case is, yeah. So, I'm taking there's more to it, and we'll get to that because he wanted liens on things. But I think this is more of a technicality of doing this versus anything else. I kind of see why he's doing it in a way, and we will get to that. Um, acting on and pursuant to the agreements, Anderson and Mr. Anderson in particular diligently and successfully prosecuted plaintiff's case over a 7-year period, which included an 8-week trial in fall of 2023 and post-trial related matters, including the handling of the appeal of the case, having selected and managed appellate counsel. A final judgment in a total of $208,451,176 was rendered in favor of plaintiffs on January 19th of 2024 and recorded in the official records of Sarasota County, Florida. 6 pages. So footnote 2 was true and correct copies of the agreements will be filed separately under seal to protect the plaintiff's interest in any applicable privileges. Oh. So, it's not liens on the property so much as the documents. There's 2 different ones, and we will get into that. Which is accruing interest at the legal rate at such the contingency condition of the agreements has been performed and satisfied. Pursuant to the contingency fee agreement, Anderson is entitled to compensation for legal services rendered on behalf of plaintiffs in the sum of 1/3 of $215,489,000. The current judgment with interest as of January 16th, 2024, which equals $70,111,000. $70 million. Whew, that's a lot of money. Whew, that is a lot of money. Together with all the costs, out-of-pocket expenses, and remaining outstanding, plus 1/3 of interest accrued at the statutory post-judgment rate, and 1/3 of any attorney's fees recovered post-judgment. And in light of the substitution of counsel that has occurred, now demands that plaintiff pay the full amount of all sums due and owing, or confirm their payment upon the conclusion of the case in agreement to the lien. Footnote 3. Wherefore, Anderson Glenn, LLP, and Gregory Anderson, Esquire, respectfully request that this court enter an order determining that Anderson has a lien for services and expenses against plaintiff in recovery of this case pursuant to the agreements, determine the amount of the lien, order that proceeds can be deposited in the court's register by judgment debtor. Okay. Footnote 3 was like, upon information and belief, plaintiffs may attempt to assert that they discharged Anderson with cause. They in fact do. The court should be aware that Anderson disputes such an allegation that states further that he believes the discharge was procured by fraud and that no cause whatsoever existed for the discharge and intends to prove as much at the appropriate time. Whew, he big mad. He is big mad. He is big mad. I heard this case when I was diagnosed with FND. The hospital shipped me 3 hours away, did a lot of abuse and neglect or practice to me, then ordered to go back to the hospital that cost. Then forced me to walk after losing the ability to walk again. They loaded me up, said they accidentally discharged me and was going to force me back in. Jesus, I just can't even. What state are you in? I believe you wrote me about that, and I still feel so bad that I have not had the proper response to your email, but it was a long one. Four, direct the clerk of court to pay Anderson the sum found to be due for Anderson's legal services rendered and cost of out-of-pocket expenses incurred upon receipt of any case proceeds. So this is all contingent on the fact that Maya gets paid. When Maya gets paid, he'll get paid. Grant an evidentiary hearing on the matter, and grant such and other further relief as to which the movement is entitled. And then that was Gregory and Jennifer Anderson. All right, and then there's one more. This is the one that's this was the one that I is interesting to me. Is the other one I can, okay, you wanted to do that. You wanted to make sure that you get paid. Yeah, Greg wants to be first in line. And guess what? And honestly, no matter how the split went down and whether they chose, whatever happened, um, there is no denying that Greg Anderson put a lot of time, effort, and work into this case. Whatever happened, but he was the only person to take it. So, yeah. And unfortunately, it's really hard to prove because there are so many people being treated, and there are so many hands in the pot, so to speak. It's really hard to prove because you also need that intention, and a lot of the times it's unintentional, but that doesn't make it right. So, yeah, that's he's earned it. He's making sure he doesn't get fucked. Yep, pretty much. All right. Notice of attorney retaining lien on files and charging lien on judgment, award, or settlement. Plaintiffs retained the law firm of Anderson Glenn LLP and Greg Anderson Esquire to represent them in this 7-year matter from the inception of the case throughout and including the trial in fall of 2023. Post-trial related matters, blah, blah, blah. Having selected and managed appellate counsel, costs for securing plaintiff a book contract. Interesting. That one was not made of. We suspected based on the interviews that they did, but it's never been put in writing before. Yeah, and it's also well, and it's also of like who did more is if you go back and you see all 2,800 documents, you would have to look behind the scenes. We really didn't know who did more technically, but I get your point. I see what you're getting at. Oh. And numerous other matters which client confidentially prohibits counsel from disclosing. Anderson obtained a successful verdict and judgment in plaintiff's favor after more than 7 years of litigation. The representation was undertaken pursuant to 2 written contingency fee agreements entered into between plaintiffs and Anderson years prior to the trial. Collectively, the agreements are binding on plaintiff and their counsel and obligate plaintiffs to compensate Anderson a percentage from any recovery in this matter. Anderson, and he kind of restates a lot that he stated in the last one, so it's kind of redundant, but Anderson, the only attorney willing to take the case, reasonably relying on the financial terms of the agreement, undertook the representation of plaintiffs at great financial risk, both personally and professionally. Importantly, Anderson would have never continued the representation had plaintiffs not agreed to compensate Anderson under the terms of the agreement. The contingency under the agreements has been fully performed and satisfied. As the liener, Anderson successfully tried the case in fall of 2023 and obtained a $261 million verdict. Anderson has not been paid attorney's fees due to owing under the contingency fee. All interested parties are notified that Anderson, located at that address, has a charging lien against the entire file documents in all matters, electronic or hard copy, and a retaining lien on the judgment, award, or settlement. So a charging lien, he's got it. If he doesn't get paid, he keeps all the documents, which are quite important for because this case is an appeal. Stump jumping woodchuck. Hello, that name. How are you today? And hey, General, how are you? Took my dog to the groomers. Now I gotta go shopping. Take care of you all in calamari. Don't forget to hit the like button, General. And I am kind of working pretty hard to get all these documents out at a reasonable time. Trying to do this weekly updates. So if you like the content, can you hit that like button for me? Oh, I am tired today, but good. It's kind of a snow day. Actually, it is a snow day. We got snow here in Georgia. It's weird. It's weird. It's melting, but it's weird. The lien shall include post-judgment interest for the payment of legal fees incurred pursuant to the contingency fee agreements, together with all costs and out-of-pocket expenses incurred on plaintiff's behalf. Wherefore, Anderson Glenn LLP and Gregory Anderson Esquire give notice to all, and the fact that it's bolded, it's like, hey, I'm giving you notice. Put all interested parties that they are due the full amount of their attorney's fees pursuant to the contingency fee agreements, together with all the costs and out-of-pocket expenses incurred, and with interest from the date of the judgment until paid in full, from any judgment, award, or settlement rendered for the plaintiffs, their successor, assignees, or heirs, and Anderson Glenn LLP and Gregory Anderson Esquire should be included as a payee on all settlement draft documents and checks. Like he's basically saying, I might not be that lawyer anymore, but you still gonna pay me. All interested parties are hereby placed on notice that if any disbursement of judgment, settlement, fee award, purchased financial instrument of compensation, or any other method of disbursement of any asset related to settling or resolving or paying to resolve this case, and any case related by transfer of assets or interest in the case, without notice to consent, this is a run-on sentence, consent and payment to the lienor shall subject the recipient of such proceeds to be responsible for the payment and or funds. Oh, Greg is not playing games. He's not playing games. Yeah. And Greg's wife is not well. I don't know what's wrong with her. So she didn't ditch all the lawyers who won her case. She ditched the firm as a whole, but she's still being represented by Nick Whitney, Mr., naval aviator, who is just at a different firm. But there are all these ethical issues, and there's a bunch of stuff that I'm sure we don't know. I will put the, yeah. And I don't blame him for basically covering his ass, basically saying, I might not be your lawyer anymore, but you're still going to pay me. And I'm putting it in writing that you're still going to pay me, and it's with the courts that you're still going to pay me. So this, I don't know. If y'all remember from the last stream, there was a text message that was sent, an aggressive text message, according to Jennifer Anderson, and they assumed that Nick Whitney quit. And so they shut off his computer access, and then he didn't quit, and he claims he got fired. So so he moved to a different firm, and he posted a copy of an email in one of his filings that basically said, hey, we need to go through and discuss how we're going to split up, how we're going to decide to keep the parties that we worked, or the clients that we worked with, together. But there wasn't that. They didn't seem to file a response to that email. And then Greg Anderson is claiming that he stole those clients, including Maya, and has ethics issues, and cited a bunch of ethics. And luckily, I have the Florida Code of Professional Conduct on my computer, because I was, researching it for a certain lawyer with a big nose, allegedly. So we brought up last time what the sections that he was talking about, and he mentioned, and we read through them. And there was some things that were stated in there that was like, oh, that was petty. That was petty. It should be split fees, but it's whatever is in their agreement. It's whatever was in their agreement, and there has got to be more to this story that we don't know. That is not in legal filings. However, y'all know me. I read legal filings, so I don't know any of these people. I don't have privileged information. Oh yeah, he's still banned. Of course he's still banned. He's probably lurking. He's watching because he can't help himself. But now he doesn't have the opportunity to say something stupid, which is really sad. But what are clients supposed to do? Milo is closer to Nick. Yeah, and I'm wondering if because her dad did sign the affidavit that said they were staying with Anderson Glenn, but Maya's 18 now. So, well, she's 19 now. So, what did Maya's an adult. Maybe her dad wanted to stay with this is all speculation. Her dad wanted to stay, um, with Anderson Glenn, and Maya's like, "No, I'd rather have Nick do it." There's it's a lot of drama, and there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that I can't like, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know. Like, I can't even begin to speculate because I'd be wrong. Um, I haven't, yeah, and this is the part about reporting it that I don't like doing. Um, I did take like I said, I did take heat in that first video because I'm reporting drama even though it's um, on this side. I was like, "I y'all know I call it like I see it." And 2, I'm very interested in this appeal, and if we got the appeal and we got to watch the appeal and we didn't see Greg Anderson there and we wondered what happened, we went back and found all this information. We're just keeping people up to speed. So, it's like I don't like to, deuce crap skin. I don't like to bring up drama on this side, but at the same time, like, it is what it is, and we can't change it, and we just have to report it and be as I'm trying to report it, but I'm also trying not to be, like, sarcastic about it like I am when I report on, like, JHACH stuff, because we don't like JHACH, like, I don't like as someone who worked in a hospital for 6 years, that's not how that worked. That's not how that should have gone. That's not how any of that should have gone. Be it I've never worked in pediatrics, however, there's certain things that were done that you just don't do. You just don't do. Uh, ooh, I just got a notification about a trial starting in March. It's the Tupac trial. I'm surprised it's not talked about much in the media. Ooh, the Tupac trial. Oh, I mean, and hey, host picker. Oh, yeah, it's hard to dodge the drama. It's just one of those situations of like, I uh, I try to be report it, but report it as factually as possible. Like, I'm just reading the documents. I didn't write it. I didn't make that up. They literally put it in legal filings. So I can't really, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Like, and I'm closing all of these because if I don't, and let's see. While we're here, I might have to go back to the county clerk details. Defense. They have every state or every county has their yeah. I'm not a legal scholar. So here is I'm just gonna share this with you guys. This will be tomorrow or Friday morning stream. This will be Friday morning stream. Do. So hose picker. Hose picker. Yep. Welcome to the internet. You have drama and bullshit. There is the case goes between the Florida 2nd District Court of Appeals, February 12th. So I will be paying attention to whether it will be streamed or not, and or whether it is a video will be released of it. Yeah, not a lawyer, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express at once, and I own a legal dictionary. Does that count? Happy early birthday. I know I'm going to forget before then, so I'm saying it now just in case I forget because I'm horrible like that. So this is the case of Dr. Joe versus HCA Healthcare. So the only thing that we've covered on this channel, or I've seen covered at all, is yeah, that's true too. People should glean their own opinion and not adopt what's being read. That's yeah. Flash is still a youngin. He until he has like yeah, I'm just nosy and watch a lot of court stuff. Me too. So this now has 46 documents. So we will I will be going through some of these and seeing what's actually important because, not all filings are sometimes they're like a one-page order that doesn't need really to be read. But there's all of this. There's summons, notices of appearances, affidavits. I have a lot to go through. Because I'm hoping that this gets resolved quickly. Because of the fact that this is Dr. Joe, and we would like him to make a triumphant return to YouTube sometime soon. And the thing I like about this Hillsborough County Clerks is they have hearings. So there is a hearing. I thought it was set for June. So events. So there's exhibits, notice of removal to federal. There's a lot of stuff to go through. So we're going to get into that on Friday morning because I just found this last night and I need time. I need time to read it. So tomorrow, 1:30, we will be talking with Captain Kern. I almost said Captain Clark. I'm like, that's not just about all the documents that are personal to him that Sir Frank Otter found us. So we're going to be going over that and trying to dissect what happened and what went wrong and why the asshat that was convicted was not given nearly as much time for what he did. Yeah, Captain Clark. You said you were going to rebrand yourself. This might, I don't know. This might, who knows where this will go. But that is that. Tomorrow at 1:30. Tomorrow at 1:30, Captain Kern. This channel, I already have the stream set up, and I've posted it on Twitter and Discord. So it is on this channel, 1:30, Captain Kern, everybody's favorite troll who now texts me throughout my streams. You remind me of my dad. All right. Y'all have a great day. I am going to go spend some time with the family. I will see y'all tonight after everybody goes to bed for night court. We are hopefully finishing up, the Joseph Ferlazzo case. And then next week, we can get into the Navy vet versus CNN defamation case, because that's a good one. Bye, you're going to go eat. I am going to just make sure that I don't send y'all into the YouTube abyss, and we actually go to redirect somewhere. Who is live right now? And I will drop the links for the prior videos in thanks, Wendy. I'm glad you're here. I'm slowly getting there. Slowly adding pieces to the puzzle to not look like such a newbie. Broken Baker is live with the Natalie Cockrum Red Rum trial day 5, or the Lawyer You Know is live with the new trial for Richard Allen. Let's go to Lawyer You Know. We haven't gone to him in a while. All right. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you tonight. Bye.